is enough said.
What up, Heat Nation? Your boy Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video, giving y'all a third video of the day because I got breaking news for you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Now let's rock and roll on another Miami Heat Talk adventure because like I mentioned, I got a huge update, you guys. It's been reported by Dwayne Rankin that Bradley Beal and the Phoenix Suns are discussing a possible buyout. And if Beal were to be bought out, he would become an unrestricted free agent and can sign with whatever team he wants. Now, it was reported after that from Legion Hoops, you guys, and we all know this, but just a reminder, there's 3 teams that are heavily interested in Beal if he becomes available. The Los Angeles Lakers, the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Miami Heat. Now, we all know Bradley Beal's situation. I've mentioned it multiple times during the regular season. But I will mention it now because that was during the trade deadline when we were trying to move Jimmy Butler. But Bradley Beal does have one of the worst NBA contracts. He's making $53.6 million for the 2026 season, and he will be making $57.1 million in the 2027 season, which is a player option. Now, the biggest problem with Bradley Beal that the Phoenix Suns were noticing was they couldn't move him. Because Bradley Beal has a no trade clause. One of the 2 players in the NBA that has that along with LeBron James. So Bradley Beal can determine where he goes. So Phoenix could not move him at all. And Bradley Beal did not have a great season. Now, you look at his numbers. This year with Phoenix, played 53 games, averaged 17 points a game. Almost 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 49% from the field, 38.6% from 3, and 80% from the free throw line. Bradley Beal was a guy, one of the best scorers in the NBA. There was a point in his career that he was averaging over 30 points a game, 25 points a game. So yeah, his play has diminished. He's 32 years old. So I understand why Phoenix is trying to get this buyout done. And let's be real. You know, the whole Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant experience didn't work. It blew up in Phoenix's face. So I understand why they're trying to negotiate a buyout. They're trying to get this guy off their roster. Phoenix is like on the next end of their build. They're going to build around Devin Booker, kind of retool, get some young players. So I get exactly what they're doing. Now, why does this kind of involve the Miami Heat? Well, guys, Bradley Beal and the Miami Heat have been linked for so many years. Dude has a great relationship with Bam Adebayo. He's mentioned in the past how he loves, Eric Spoelstra's coaching. He also comes down here to Miami for the summer. We know that players like it down here in sunny South Florida. Now, the Miami Heat were also linked to Bradley Beal in potential free agency and trade. Recent being was most back in 2023. It didn't happen because of, Bradley Beal's contract. The Miami Heat saw that was going to be coming towards the downward spiral, and it has. Look, I'm not saying that Bradley Beal is bad, but at 17 points, 3 rebounds, almost 4 assists, $57 million and $53 million for, the combined for both years. That's a lot. That's a lot. So if Bradley Beal is bought out, this is where things get a little bit interesting. Because I mentioned this in my previous video, you guys. The Miami Heat still have their exceptions. The Miami Heat does have a full 15-man roster, but the Heat do have their $14.1 million mid-level exception. And they have the 5.1 or 5.7 biannual exception. But the Miami Heat can easily give Bradley Beal a mid-level extension contract. And Bradley Beal would give the Miami Heat the offensive firepower that they need. Now, would Bradley Beal start? Would he come off the bench? What would be the best role for Bradley Beal? Well, on this roster, you don't want to mess up Tyler Hero. And in my opinion, the best backcourt to start is Tyler Hero and Davion Mitchell. The reason why Davion Mitchell was coming off the bench last year is because you needed more offense. That's why Duncan Robinson was starting, but also Davion Mitchell was really good coming off the bench as the guard role. If you could talk Bradley Beal into being the sixth man of the team, coming off the bench for either Davion Mitchell or Tyler Hero. Imagine Tyler Hero's balling for the first 10 minutes of the first quarter, comes off the bench, and Bradley Beal is coming in for him. Bradley Beal playing against the second unit, he can average about 15 to 18 points a game. He can be that six-man threat. He can even win sixth man of the year. If Bradley Beal buys in, goes all in with Eric Spoelstra's coaching system, becomes the sixth man of the team, this Miami Heat team gets a lot better. Because that's exactly what we saw we needed last year. Someone else that you can give the ball to and say, we need you to score. Teams would collapse on Tyler. Bradley Beal would solve that. $53 million for Bradley Beal? No. $14 million with the mid-level exception for a guy who averaged 17 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. Now that's great. And that's the thing, you guys. People are going to be like, well, he'll go to the Lakers, he'll go to the Clippers. Two things. One, the Lakers don't have that exception anymore. They signed DeAndre Ayton. They've made signings already, Jake LaRava. So they've already used up their exception. I think all they have left is that $5 million biannual exception. Let's not forget that California has one of the biggest state taxes. So a big chunk of that is going to be taken, about 50%. And that's both teams, the Lakers and the Clippers, who have been rumored to be interested in him. He comes to Miami at the $14.1 million mid-level exception, where Florida has no state taxes. Combine that with what he's getting paid from Phoenix in the buyout, that is motivation to come to the Miami Heat. The fact that the Heat still have that mid-level exception puts us in a great position to pick up Bradley Beal. I think it works, especially if you're able to talk Beal and coming off the bench and being a sixth man. Now you can have a starting lineup of Bam Adebayo, Kel'el Ware, Andrew Wiggins, Tyler Hero, Davion Mitchell. You have Bradley Beal coming off the bench as your sixth man. You throw in Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, sprinkle in some Haywood Highsmith. You have your rookie, Kasparis Yakajonas, who he can basically learn from Bradley Beal, Davion Mitchell, and Tyler Hero this year. Just absorb it, get a lot better. And we have this youth movement going. Bradley Beal's not going to play 82 games. So I think this does work. Now I know fans are going to be like, no, this is just going to hamper Kasparis Yakajonas. Well, not really. He's going to get better. And Spo doesn't really play rookies right away. Look at Kel'el Ware. It took Kel'el Ware halfway of the season. I called that even before the season started. So if you trade for Bradley Beal, if you sign Bradley Beal once he's bought out, I think this would work. You go into a full training camp with Tyler as your number one option, Wiggs as your number two option in the starting lineup, Bam as your number three. You have Bradley Beal as your killer coming off the bench. You also have Jovic and Jaime that are able to do their own thing. Davion Mitchell can score on his own. Kel'el Ware is a 3-and-D beast. Haywood Highsmith has that sweet 3-point shot. I could see Miami contend for a top 6 spot in the East. So Heat Nation, I want to hear from you. The contract could be maybe like 2 years, $28 million with a team option or a player option the second year. So that way Bradley Beal can bet on himself and double down, and then he can opt out after 2026. It'll still give us that cap flexibility. And then Bradley Beal can go ahead, ball this year with Miami at the mid-level exception, and with what he gets from his buyout from Phoenix, and then next offseason, he can get a 3-year, $50 million contract. We saw Klay Thompson do it. So Heat Nation, I want to hear from you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Bradley Beal would be a great fit in the Miami Heat? Not at his current contract with the trade. If he gets bought out by Phoenix and he comes here for the mid-level, maybe the biannual exception. I'm sure it'll be mid-level. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Enjoy your 4th of July weekend. Happy 4th of July. And until next time, your boy Ernest out. And that is enough said.